MedBix Webcast is a new kind of healthcare media channel to break the silo mentality and foster interdisciplinary thinking. Our mission is to fill that gap and to create a curiosity through different lenses, tapping the passion that guided the historical figures in medicine and bringing present-day groundbreaking research to the front lines. We interview physicians and leaders in the industry about present-day healthcare challenges on our live programming. Thank you for joining this MedBix webcast. This is Raman Raju. I'm the host. I'm not Albert Einstein. Far from it. I'm just a guy trying to make something. You know, this broadcast, I started it to innovate, to inaugurate a little bit of helping physicians who wants to be to innovate, innovation for innovation. It gives you some ideas for the innovations. That is not the MBA. MBA is good to operational efficiency. It gives you operational efficiency, not for it doesn't give you all the tools for the innovations you require, mathematics, physics, chemistry, and different kind of a background, not even art. That kind of background, it helps you. So I started this broadcast, and on that basis, it is a self-funded. It is not easy to run this one. I'm trying to get into um, get into the funding part. The it's very difficult to get I'm trying, because a lot of nowadays the salespeople cannot go to the doctor's offices because of COVID and other problems. So they could use my platform as a vehicle to promote these things. If you don't mind, just give me 1 second, please. 1 second, if there is emergency. 1 second. Yes, sorry about that. It is just something happened, but everything is okay. So this is my platform is a vehicle for to start this process. To promote. It's not easy. I need your help, all your help. I wanted to really make this happen. I'm getting excellent reviews from my presentations. Thank you all. Everybody is giving great compliments. Thank you so much. It's a rough days. Today is one of my rough days of my life. I have to put up with it. So it's not easy. But this is the problem I have, is that I think it is a great solution for the problem. The salespeople cannot visit the doctor's offices, and then it is always challenging. They could use my vehicle to reach the doctors, because doctors love these kind of innovative ideas, and they're curious people. That's why they went to medicine. They're curious people. My father was a teacher, but he learned himself, self-taught doctor. I don't have any medical background. I'm not a physician, but I learned quite a bit of medicine because that my curiosity creates a lot of things. Einstein said that curiosity is the key for everything. So remember that curiosity is the central fuel for all our innovations. So my program works for that. Actually, one of my friends, Dr. Krishna Tangela, is updating his DOMED, like a similar to WebMD. It is a very DOMED, DOBEMD.com. You should visit there. He's updating a lot of information. It's a great medical information website. You should see it. And he's putting a great ensemble of physicians and their ideas on that one. It's a great website. Please visit dowmed.com. It's a sponsor for our broadcast. But please help me, all of you, to continue this broadcast. I need your help. I'm putting together very diverse presentations. Today is interesting. I'm going to do a presentation is my close to my heart. Is related to physics and the medicine together. It is a very up on some scientific speculation, some extent, but some extent it is a very real. So is scientific speculation. It's not just a speculation of some new age group. This is all science-based systems. So I'm going to present that. It's a very fascinating subject. Um, it is called hologram prescription as a medicine. Can you prescribe hologram as a medicine for certain conditions? Is very interesting. Hologram as a medicine is just a bare far idea from these kind of things. So sorry. Okay, that is the. I wanted to be in the bottom, maybe that. Yeah. So it is a very far idea that hologram is a medicine, but pay attention. It is really interesting topic today. So that actually Bruce Willis. He was recently diagnosed with Louis dementia, Louis body dementia. It's kind of a dementia. Is Alzheimer's, kind of Alzheimer's. My friend Laura Turner, my father Ted Turner, founder of CNN, also prescribed that. It came in the news. So I'm not revealing anything that is already came in CNN. Sanjay Gupta interviewed Mr. Ted Turner. I want to say hello to Laura Turner. This may be the future kind of a solutions for some of our onslaught of neurological diseases. So let us continue. So there is a hologram appeared in the 2012 in Coachella Valley Music Festival. There is a Tupac is a very famous rap artist. He appeared as a hologram. He was shot. He was dead at the below 25 or below 30, I think. So his hologram was appeared in 2012. It's kind of a raw. It was okay. But in 2020, just before the pandemic, they started a tour, actual holographics tour for Whitney Houston. I used to meet Whitney Houston in Atlanta, in Rich Carlton, where my office is next door to that. To her, she used to come down there with her husband Bobby Brown. I used to bump into them all the times. I sat with them. I spoke with her. I spoke with her husband. Very nice people. She was already going through rough times. I can see that during the time, the last few years of her life, I saw her. She could not able to sing that much. She looked so thin, but she is a tremendous force in the singing. And then they created in London, England. They created a holographic tour of Whitney Houston, and they started touring the world. Because of the pandemic, they stopped it, but now they are resuming from Las Vegas, and they're going to go to. It's actually Whitney Houston holographic tour. She's going to sing songs in this tour. It's amazing. They said that it looks as real as you can get. That is the. So if you have an opportunity, please watch it. So if you take a hologram, how that looks like, actually the picture of the hologram, the photo of an hologram looks like in the one in the middle office carpet. Looks like office carpet. Hologram looks like office carpet. Just dots and the black spots and white spots all together. That's all it is. So it is a black spots that is not much of a clear. It is not clear. It looks like you cannot see any pictures on it. It's just basically a bunch of dots together. But the hologram has two distinct properties. How do they make hologram? I can tell you. I don't want to go into the too much details. It is like I don't want to go into the physics of it. Just quickly, it's basically interference pattern that take it. They take a direct wave. It's called a reference beam. That's a laser beam. They use a laser, and then they take an object. Either it could be Apple or it could be Whitney Houston. They take that three-dimensional image of that, and then they send a wave, and they interfere. They create an interference between these two waves and take a picture of that interference. So it's kind of a magic manipulation of the quantum physics. Okay, that's interesting. You get the interference pattern of the object. But anyway, I don't want to get into physics and to scare people off. So there were two distinct hologram has two distinct properties.
The two distinct property. One property is, if you 2D image, if you take it, that 2D image creates a three-dimensional image. It stores three-dimensional information on 2D surface. It's an amazing, actually. How can you store? If you think about it, is a bizarre property. It stores three-dimensional information on 2D, two-dimensional plate. That's basically holographic image. So that's a great property of the hologram. The second, that's a one property. The second property is more interesting even. You shine a light on the holographic plate or holographic image. Any part. It doesn't need to be the whole picture. It can be shine on any part. It creates the entire image. So hologram property is very interesting. If you shine a light on any part, a small part, and it creates the entire image of the Whitney Houston. Every part contains the whole. We all know whole contains the parts. Have you ever, do you know this kind of a counterintuitive idea? Every part contains the whole. That's an amazing property. Every part contains the whole is an amazing property. This is the amazing characteristic of hologram. Okay, that is a so the two distinct properties. It stores the information from three-dimensional information on the two-dimensional film. The second property is, in any part you focus, any part you shed a light on it, it creates a three-dimensional. So every part contains the whole. That is a very interesting property. I tell you why it is so powerful property that is. So, to make it much more easier for you, you see the driver's license. Sometimes we have holograms, and also if you have a picture of the rose, or you have a picture of the hologram on the driver's license. Not exactly. I'm not. You actually take the picture in a context. Not exactly. Don't cut your license and see that it works or not. But it is actually image part. If you take a holographic image and cut it in half, it doesn't divide the image into two. It divides as two small ones. If you cut in half, again it becomes the whole picture. Keep continuing until all the way to the dawn. You cannot see until that every part contains the whole. That is the concept there. Holographic image is not easy to copy it. That's why they put a holographic image on the driver's licenses. So part contain the whole is a very parts contain the whole is a very powerful concept. So you can go all the way to the atomic level. Electron may contain information about entire universe. That's a strange idea, but it could be. So there is this thought. He took this kind of a thought. Michael Talbot is a is a is a born in Detroit, and he came to San Francisco. He, he himself a gay man. He was born in 1953. What he wrote is amazing. Is a intuition and creativity. Doesn't need to be scientific. He doesn't have a scientific qualifications, but he's an amazing intuition. Like me and my father, that curiosity created something. He came up with a very strange idea that not did not even exist at that time. He came back with the holographic universe concept. So his name is Michael Talbot. Is 1953 was born. He created what he said is hologram. You can extend to universe and the brain itself. They all work as a holograms. That's what he is in his book, The Holographic Universe. He wrote a book, very popular book, very well written book. I read it when I came to this country. First book, one of the first books I read is The Holographic Universe. It's a very far idea, but it's a very, very scientific and intuitive thought. This idea that he got it from, he combined the two ideas of two famous scientists. One is David Bohm. David Bohm was born in Brooklyn, New York. He was a student of the Albert Einstein. He was a student of Albert Einstein. What happened was, he was the United States government accused him of McCarthy time. They accused him of become is a communist, and they expelled him. He was not a part of the Manhattan Project. He was a brilliant quantum physicist. They took him out. Then he moved to Brazil and then eventually ended up in England. David Bohm wrote a lot of books. He is one of the profound the physicist like David Bohm is very well known figure among the physics community. He wrote a he is a very he was he was tackling a problem called measurement problem. I tell you about the measurement in observer and observer reality. He is having a measurement problem that science could not able to answer. He wanted to find out through Indian philosophy and other things, and he wrote a book and he came up with a mathematical structure for the this kind of a for idea that is that measurement problem. The measurement problem is I'm going to explain in a second. The second one is the Carl Pribram. He was a neurosurgeon from Stanford University. He was so he's he's also doing a lot of research on the and he's stuck with a problem with the trauma patients. It's something he's finding out trauma patients because that I'm going to explain what that problem is. So Michael Talbot took these two people's concept and combined them together and wrote a book. What is a quantum physics conundrum is quantum physics has a conundrum is called observer and observer the relationship. It is saying that quantum physics says that until you observe something, it does not come in real. We don't know what it is before the observation. If there is a chair before observation, you don't know whether it exists or not. That is the one thing that the quantum physics says at the particle level. You cannot say that for 100% that particle that particle exists before observation there, a particular place. We don't know where it is. We don't know what it is doing. For example, observing the electron, we don't know. The observer doesn't know before the observation where that is, what it is doing. It's all mystery. Once it's observed, that it becomes real. It becomes share. We don't know what it is before that. That's a strange concept. The concept is what he says is that the it becomes one of the interpretation, the Copenhagen interpretation of the quantum physics is it becomes real when you observe something. It becomes real. It takes a position and then it becomes real. Wave function collapse. It's called and it becomes real. This is a conundrum. So science people did not like it. So mind is collapsing the reality, it making us real. The mind is creating this illusion of reality. That is a big problem in science. So that's why quantum physics, David Bohm went into further, wanted to find out. In quantum physics, I was studying, I have a master's in physics. They were saying that don't ask that question, what it is doing before the observation, just do the calculations. That's what they said to us. But some of the physicists question that what it is doing exactly, where that comes from. Is it real or not? Is it an illusion or something? That is one of the questions in quantum physics has a problem. So the David Bohm came up with a Indian philosopher. He moved to England. Then he met the English philosopher through his wife. And his name is Krishnamurti. He is from my state. He was Theosophical Society. He was a president of a Theosophical Society, a very popular society. And then they have a lot of real estate, and they are big New Age group. He was heading the New Age group called Theosophical Society. So there are a lot of YouTube videos if you want to like to watch between the David Bohm, quantum physicist, and the Indian spiritual master J. Krishnamurti. Jiddu Krishnamurti, his full name, JK they call him. When he eventually, Jiddu Krishnamurti moved to Ojai, California, near San Diego. So that he started a lot of schools. He's still there in India and in Madras. And David Bohm thought about listening to this Indian philosophy, and I came up with the concept called implicate order. He says that there is only one mind. There's only one, there's a There is a swirls in the ocean. They think they're separate. They're not. They eventually become a part of the. Every swirl could be big, small. All of them are. He says that is a part of the ocean. Same thing. Consciousness. All the consciousness is a huge. It is all the matter. The galaxies, planets, you, me, everybody is the small swirls in the ocean. Eventually, we are part of the that consciousness of the ocean. We are part of the consciousness. We're all one and the same. That he came up with a mathematical structure, implicate order as a one mind. He says that explicate order, implicate and explicate order means a thought comes out as a swirl, and you think that that is separate from each other. It is actually thought is a separating, thought is an actionable. So thought is creating individual identities and all these individual matters. So that's kind of a new concept he came up with. A very well known, it's a well respected concept even now. So David Bohm came up in quantum physics some of the profound ideas in quantum physics with the with his conversation with Jiddu Krishnamurti. You must watch on YouTube quite a bit of them. But that is Rumi said that if you Iranian philosopher Rumi, you are not a drop in the ocean, you are the entire ocean in the drop. That's kind of holographic principle. Hologram says that you everything is contains in every part contains the whole. He already thought about it. He doesn't need to be a scientist to understand that. He could be a philosopher, he could be a scientist, he could be spiritual master. You can understand all those things. So you're not a drop in the ocean, you're the entire ocean in a drop. Rumi said that. Iranian philosopher Rumi, popular. The next one is that universe may be hologram. So the Michael Talbot came up with the idea universe may be hologram itself. That means the universe is a big hologram. We are the projections, you and me and the planets and everything, maybe a big movie, a three-dimensional movie from the surface of the universe itself. We are playing on a two-dimensional plate of the universe on thin surface. That we are the projections of the universe. So who are the subject, who are the object, we don't know. Who could be the subject? They could be the subject on the universe plate, on the two-dimensional plate. It's your choice which way you take it. This is a very profound concept in physics, in fact. So if a brain is let us talk about that universe, maybe hologram is a powerful idea. Michael Talbot mentioned in his book. But brain, let us talk about the brain part of it a little bit. If a brain is a computer, what you see, it's a very interesting. It's a dual core, multi-modal integrated graphic processor. I don't even know what it is, but the guys, Intel guys can tell me. My nephews, they work on those kind of things. It's a very powerful CPU, I guess. Neural network is 100 billion neurons, 100 trillion connections. So mind-boggling, this 3-pound brain as a neural connections of 100 trillion connections. Just mind-boggling, the connections, how it is created. Now, the third part is very important for our discussion. Memory is, we have a 250, our brain has a 250 million gigabytes memory. That's called 400 lifetimes of video stream. It stores in our brain. Even the dumbest guy has that power. What he eats? A sandwich. It doesn't need I explained to you why that memory is so powerful. 215 million gigabytes. Not 250 gigabytes. 400 lifetimes video stream is there if you take a picture of entire one person. Display resolution is a 576 megapixels, very, very high. Frame rate is 150 frames per second. Our movies are played 30 frames per second, but our frame rate in our brain is 150 frames per second. Clock rate is more than 1 kilohertz. kilohertz brain clock rate is. Our clock goes that fast in the brain. Power consumption, that is, if you put the power, if you create a computer, what kind of a power is required? You need a more than the entire power production of the Niagara Falls, 4 gigawatts is, you need a multiple of them to power to get really the same thing, the brain, if you want to simulate the brain. So stop talking all about all the chat GPT and all these guys are talking about, oh, it's going to become a brain. Can you believe these kind of things to match that with the 2 sandwiches we eat? And then you need a 4 gigawatt, 2 Niagara Falls power you need to store that kind of information. So it is a mind-boggling. Brain is somehow is a miracle. Still, we are very beginning of understanding of the beginning of the. We are very beginning of this understanding about our brain. So, so, so just I think one of the problem with the physicists, they don't understand really medicine. That's a problem too. So that's why interdisciplinary field is good. So that we need to slow down AI and everything they're saying that. But I tell you, why do you want to slow down? Let us find out what is a cure for cancer, cure for diabetes, cure for all the pains that we go through. Find out the solution for all these problems. It's a nonsense of telling them that is, oh, he's going to be smarter than all of us, he's going to control all of us. That is it. Find out. Then that is a true artificial intelligence in my view. If you find a cure for cancer, understand the mechanisms of the entire body, that is, think about this brain. To understand the brain, you need that kind of power from the computers. But anyway, so Carl Pribram, the neurosurgeon from Stanford, came up with he had some conundrum. What is a conundrum? In the trauma patients, when they do go through, if you take a part of the brain out during the surgery, a cancer patient, tumor patient, you take the part of the brain, 3/4 of the brain even, take it out. And still they remember, if they remember A to Z, they remember. They won't remember because you took the part of the brain A to F, then they don't know rest of the alphabets. They know entire alphabets. If they know something, they know they know the entire sequence. It's nothing to do with the amount of the brain that you have. That's a fascinating. So he had the conundrum, the Carl Pribram neurosurgeon. He came up with the idea, that is, he took the idea of David Bohm and then said that maybe each neuron has every memory. It contains every memory. All the memories are stored in entire memory, like holographic universe. Every part contains the whole. Every neuron contains the entire memory of our lifetime. All our memories are stored in every neuron, every cell. That is a profound idea. It is a brain acts like an hologram. It came with the Carl Pribram, neurosurgeon from Stanford, came up with this idea. So they're merging hologram, maybe part of the brain. Is a brain acts like a hologram, and the universe acts like a hologram. It's a very strange connection that Michael Talbot recognized that and wrote that book, Holographic Universe. Now, brain is a hologram. The concept, Michael Talbot took it and came up with this idea of brain is hologram. It's a very profound idea in 1980s and 90s, late 80s. He wrote this book. It's an amazing to me how he thought about that. So he connected the dots together. It still is very well respected among some scientists. People give him a lot of praise for his insights into it. So not only the neuron, there is a new kind of a science is coming out. It is called SEO biology. It's called embryo containing information of the whole organism. Embryo containing information of the whole organism. Every embryo, the stem cells, now you're talking about stem cell, you can do that. All the information is contained. SEO biology is a new kind of field is coming up now. Every cell has all the information about the entire body, your entire things. That's a new concept. Embryo containing information of the whole organism is a new find, is evolving field. It is a very interesting field based on the holography, hologram itself, holographic concept. So based on this one, there is actually Chinese medicine based on that one. The holography of the acupuncture, they found out in a randomized trial in University of San Francisco, in randomized trial in the chronic pain, there is a evidence that ear, they represent the entire ear into the entire body. Different parts of the ear is connected to the different parts of the body. Is there is a So they put the pins inside to tackle that part. So one part is a face, other part is a knee, other part is a leg, other part is stomach inside. All those things are represented in the ear in the Chinese acupuncture. They did actually they did a randomized trial in the University of San Francisco. It is not some wild idea that is just there. It is actually reducing the pain. There is evidence there that it is actually treating the pain and anxiety. So this is idea came from um, came from the acupuncture, Chinese traditional medicine. Is very interesting concept. So they started this holographic idea long before in Chinese medicine. It's been there thousands of years. Now, holography dementia. They did another two studies came out, Alzheimer's and dementia in 2017, and the frontiers and in aging and neuroscience in 2019. They came back with the two books. So one of the two studies, sorry, these two studies are done in several universities. They won't find out when they show a picture of hologram of their relatives or a picture of the flowers, their memory and cognitive function improved quite a bit. It's very strange. I can't explain, but that strangeness, we don't know yet exactly what the mechanism is, but it is helping them to, when they show the picture of somebody's photo or a picture of their hologram, they started recognizing people. It is done, the studies are done. It's not some, okay, it is actually publications or came out on the study is holography can be used as a prescription medicine for the improving the memory and cognitive functions in the dementia patients. It's as strange as you can get. So these are the studies, two studies, Alzheimer's and dementia in 2007. These are recent ones. And Frontiers in Aging and Neuroscience in 2019, the two studies came out. They can prescribe hologram as a improving the memory and cognitive functions. So holographic principle, what is this universe holographic principle? It's really now one of the main ideas in physics. Is actually it came from information paradox of the Stephen Hawking. When in the black holes, when he was describing the black hole, when you throw your wallet inside the black hole, all the information is gone. It's gone forever. It's wiped out from the history of the universe. That doesn't even, you don't even know it existed before. There's no past to it. It is gone. That is a big no-no in quantum physics. You cannot erase the information. So there was a conundrum. There was a big problem with it. That's called information paradox. The Argentinian physicist Juan Maldacena and Leonard Susskind from sense Juan Maldacena, an Argentinian physicist from the Princeton, where Albert Einstein Department of Physics is a professor there. Is where the Albert Einstein was a professor. Juan Maldacena came up with a mathematical structure. Maybe universe is a hologram itself. We are all a lesser three-dimensional projections from the four-dimensional universe. It's a very novel concept. It's extremely, so now it is becoming a very powerful mainstream idea in physics. So we are holograms. That's what he's saying. Maldacena. So the Leonard Susskind, Juan Maldacena came up with this theory article, and and mathematical structures to prove that universe, maybe black holes, maybe holograms, and the universe itself is an hologram. That is, Stephen Hawking was wrong. He admitted that he was. That's why Hawking radiation does that part. So one more is the holographic principle of the brain part. There's a lot of doctors agree. The Dr. Evan Alexander, I interviewed him twice. He talked about near-death experience in this things that he was a neurosurgeon from Harvard, trained a neurosurgeon. He came up with the idea that is, he wrote a book, Universal Consciousness, about the universal consciousness, and then he was a believer of the holographic brain. Carl Program already adopted the David Bohm's idea of holographic brain. So the memory storage, the reason was holographic brain, his idea was the storage can be possible. That much of a storage, holograms have an enormous power to store a large information. Memogram, holograms have that power. That's why the user this now recently the studies done to 250 million gigabytes, 400 lifetimes of video stream to be stored in the brain. You need a studies are done in the University of San Francisco. I mentioned those studies. I cannot read it because it's nature in the Nature Communications, and it is other one is Scientific Reports. The published this kind of recently in 2020 they came out. So there is a lot of holographic brain principle is picking up quite a bit in the medicine also. So holography and healthcare in companies, they're all companies, they're doing already. RealView is one of them, EcoPixel, Zebra. These are the companies that are already producing the medicine and healthcare, holography in healthcare. They're trying to use holography for the training, for the education, for these treatment and diagnosis, and all of these things. They're using hologram. Companies are coming up. These are the companies in healthcare space. You can check it out. So it came out, a man who envisioned Michael Talbot sit down in his room in San Francisco and came up with this brilliant idea combining these things of the David Bohm's the universe as a hologram. And then Michael Talbot combined the universe, the brain as a hologram. He combined these two powerful thoughts and he wrote a book. What an intuitive mind it is. I'm a great fan of him. He died in 1992, very young age, even before the principle of holographic principle in physics took a major stage. He died long before that. He doesn't even know there is a von Maldacena exists at that time. So this is a very powerful idea, intuitive idea. Michael Talbot came out is extraordinary insight. He died at the age of 38 with leukemia. Is a sad story, but you can see him on. He gave interviews on YouTube. You can see some of his stories. So you can learn a lot of these things from these wild ideas that really things come out. That's what our goal is, to introduce you into interdisciplinary fields. All of them, he combined the medicine and the physics together in a strange way. We're far from our ideas on day-to-day ideas. As a universe is hologram and a brain is a hologram is just a powerful thought indeed. Thank you, Michael Talbot. Is a truly remarkable man. He died unfortunately at a very young age. Thank you. We all owe him big. This kind of people, we need them. This kind of times what we are going through, we need people like Michael Talbot, and you need shows like mine. you know. So help us to grow this show. I really admire and help you all. This is putting together is not easy. It takes a lot of time and energy. Thank you all for watching. So there is a Lord Shiva in Indian Hindu mythology. He is the one who destroys the universe and recreates the universe. Is a Trinity. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwar. These three people, they are the guardians of the universe in Hindu philosophy, Hindu mythology. So there is a one, Lord Shiva is the one does that cosmic dance, and we call him Murugan in different names he has. In Tamil, they call Murugan, in different names they call. The Murugan is the son of Lord Shiva. They're all one and the same God. So the Shiva Raman, Sushila Raman is one of my favorite singers from England, and she is a friend, and she's, I'm going to play and music. Thank you for watching, and let us see her music has that power of the universe. Then you can connect with the universe very well. Thank you for watching. Good night, and I hope our days get better. Thank you.
குகனுண்டு குறைவில்லை மனமே கந்தனுண்டு கவலை இல்ல மனமே கந்தனுண்டு கவலை இல்ல மனமே ஏழுண்டு வினையில்லை மயிலுண்டு பயமில்லை குகனுண்டு குறைவில்லை மனமே கந்தனுண்டு கவலை இல்ல மனமே கந்தனுண்டு கவலை இல்ல மனமே 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 தெய்வமே உன் காலடிய காணவே நான் வந்தேன் குறைவு ஏன் வடிவமான குறைவு குறைவையே வடிவமான கந்த சுவாமி தெய்வமே உன் காலடிய காணவே நான் வந்தேன் சுழுங்கோ வேலுண்டு வினையில்லை மயிலுண்டு பயமில்லை குகனுண்டு குறைவில்லை மனமே கந்தனுண்டு கவலை இல்ல மனமே கந்தனுண்டு கவலை இல்ல மனமே 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 நூரி நூரி ஆதி சமா भीम का ஆறுமுகன் வேலவன் ஆதரித்த என்னையாளும் பையனே ஆறு படை வீட்டில் நில்ல ஆறுமுகன் வேலவன் ஆதரித்த என்னையாளும் பையனே